I picked Silver Linings Playbook script because I really like the film. I've seen it many times. I really liked the characters in the film. I thought it was a bit different to most rom-coms because of the mental health issues in the film, and I thought to get to grips with a character with a mental health issue will be a challenge, so I decided that I would do this film. I picked the scene, the diner scene, where Pat and Tiffany had their first date. I picked this scene because there's a lot of sexual tension between them. I also like the little arguments that they have together, and it's very humorous, and I thought that would be a challenge for me to try and get the humour out of a scene. I had to cut the scene in half because it was very time consuming. The scene is about 10 to 15 minutes long, so I had to cut it in half to make it about 5 minutes. Had a lot of trouble finding actors. Went on Casting Call Pro, but no one replied, so I got my cousin involved, who is a 31-year-old male, which is exactly the kind of age I needed for the male character of Pat. And then through an associate, I found another actress very close to the deadline, but we did find another actress in the end. I did quite a lot of research. Obviously I've seen the film before, but in terms of other research, because of the mental health issues that both the characters have, I did quite a lot of research into bipolar disorder, which is what Pat has, the main character in the scene I did. So I have a friend who has bipolar, so I interviewed my friend and asked him about his bipolar and how it affects him, so I could try and get into the minds of the character more. I had a lot of problems with location. I tried to look for restaurants to film in, but obviously because it's only a student film, no one was really willing to let me have a restaurant to film in. In the end I was able to use my flat, which if you look at it at a certain angle, it does kind of look like a restaurant if I wanted it to. It was a lot easier for me. It was easy to get to, and yeah, it was ideal basically, the location. The day went really well. I thought it would take a lot longer than it did, but it was really quick. We had 2 shoots on one day because a friend used the same actors, so we thought we'd need a whole day to do it. But I think the fact that the actors were really professional. They knew their lines basically straight off, so it's always good to have actors that can just straight away get into the shot and get going, because then we can just get on with these things. The filming went really well. The only issue was the lighting. We were going to use daylights, but as it was very cloudy that day, there was not a lot of sun, so it was very dark in the flat, and the lights in the flat are terrible lights. So that's something that I would improve on if I had to do this again. The actors were really friendly. Obviously I knew my cousins, so I think that gave me a bit more confidence to work with them because I knew him and I felt more comfortable as a director to work with someone that I knew. The woman actress was very nice as well, very friendly. We kept it a really relaxed atmosphere. We had food and stuff, and we chatted a lot. Rehearsals were really relaxed as well. What I wanted was to try and get the actors as comfortable as possible around me and around all the crew, and I thought that worked really well. And so they performed at their best because I think they felt relaxed in their environment. Here is a bit of behind the scenes where I tell the actors the objectives of the characters. Pat, he's got bipolar. He finds his wife with his colleague, and he goes mental. He goes to a mental institution for a bit, some loads of medication, and the story is when he comes out and he's trying to basically regain his life, get his wife back. Yeah, trying to be better than he is. He doesn't really understand people very much, so he's quite awkward. And Tiffany is the sister of one of Pat's friends.
Okay.
Sister-in-law of one of Pat's friends. He meets her at a dinner party and he walks her home, and then they form a kind of friendship. But it's Tiffany's husband died. She's quite young, so she was quite youngly married and then quite youngly widowed. She's very depressed. She sleeps around a lot to get over that depression. She's on lots of medication, and the way that they connect is through their medication. So Tiffany really likes Pat. She wants him to like her. You get him to become your dance partner for this dance competition. That's later on. But yeah, you try and your friendship is bonded around these kind of things that you both want, and you just try and help each other out. So that's what your characters are about. The crew were really good to work with. Most of them were all experienced, so they knew how to operate the equipment. So it was easy to direct someone that knew how to operate the equipment. So all in all, yeah, the crew worked really well together. They gave me ideas. We all worked as a team, even though I was the director. I think I directed them well, and they knew what they were doing. And yeah, overall, it was really nice to work with them. I used a variety of shot choices. The first one was a tracking shot because I felt that you need to see the characters get to the table in the restaurant. I used the two shot as well, just so that I can get both characters in shots to see them both interacting together. Also, it gave me the opportunity to get the third character in, which I had was a waitress. So I was able to get her in frame in the two shot as well. And then I did over-shoulder shots for both characters, which gave the look of them talking to the other character, and also it was quite a close-up of their faces, so it kind of you could see all their expressions and stuff. But you could also see them working with the props, because I gave them props to use. Gave them cereal and a cup of tea to eat and drink. So with the over shoulders, it's not so close up. You can still see them interacting with the props that they use. And I used a few close-ups as well to get some of the more intense expressions on their faces. The overall outcome of the film, in terms of it being put together, is good, but there are improvements. Obviously, there are improvements that I could use. But the day was really fun. I thought my shot choices were good, I think. So I got a lot of expressions from the characters' faces, and I got interactions with both of the characters, so I'm pleased with my shot choices. I would go on Casting Call Pro a lot earlier and start everything a lot earlier, because I think I started it too late. I tried to find actors too late, and it was quite stressful. Although I found actors in the end, it was still a stressful experience. Also, I would try hard to find a better location, because even though the flat does kind of look like a restaurant, we still got shots of the kitchen in the background, and at times the kitchen was very messy, so there was quite a lot of mess in the background. I need to be more aware of things around in the set and make sure that the set is clear of mess and that it looks like a proper set. Also, I would use professional lighting, because the lighting was just terrible in the flat, and we didn't have any extra lights to try and brighten up the place, so the ISO had to be turned up on the camera, meaning that the footage is a little grainier than I want it to be. But yeah, overall, yeah. So more lighting, different location, but the actors were amazing, so I wouldn't change that.